Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 7 of the Chicago Cubs franchise here on MLB The Show 22, and today we have the second edition of Down on the Farm, which is a little bit of a sub-series we do within the Chicago Cubs franchise where we take a look at our minor league teams as well as highlight some of the prospects who could join the Chicago Cubs in the future. Now, in the very first episode, we took a look at both AA and AAA opening day, took a look at both teams, but today this is going to be the very first time we actually spotlight a prospect within the organization. We're going to go down to AA Tennessee, where we're going to highlight Caleb Kilian. He gets the honors to be the very first prospect spotlight in the series. Starting pitcher, Caleb Kilian, 24 years old, 70 overall, B potential. He is a right-handed pitcher. Hasn't got his AA season off to the best of start yet, but he is one of our more promising prospects we have in the organization. Now, fortunately for us, the Chicago Cubs don't have a lot of bona fide top-tier minor league players, but Caleb Kilian is one guy who stands out. Like he said, he's a right-handed starting pitcher, stands at 6'4", 180. And he throws a four-seam fastball, a curveball, a cutter, and a changeup. Now, his AA hasn't got off to the best start, and this game didn't get off to that great of a start either, so it's unfortunate to see Caleb Kilian struggling a little bit, as if you didn't tell, we are actually playing at AT&T Field, the actual home of the Chattanooga Lookouts. I use real-time stadiums here in this series. Got to make it as immersive as possible. I want you guys to see the most realistic content, and if you are excited for more, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. But back to the episode at hand, Caleb Kilian was actually not drafted within the Chicago Cubs organization. He was drafted back in the 8th round in the 2019 MLB draft by the San Francisco Giants out of Texas Tech University. Now, how did he come to the Cubs organization? Well, he was traded to the Cubs back at last year's trade deadline, and the deal that was Chris Bryant got sent to the Giants. Caleb Kilian was one of the prized pieces in that trade, and ever since he's been a part of the Chicago Cubs organization. Started off this year at Tennessee in AA. We're hoping that maybe soon he can jump up to AAA, but unfortunately his AA season hasn't got off to the best start, so we might hold off a little bit longer getting him at AAA, as he will probably be one of the earlier prospects we take a look at if we do need help in the pitching department, which, if you've been watching our Major League Cubs, that has been their Achilles heel. Their pitching has not got off to the strongest of starts. Now, let's look at Caleb Kilian's positives before we jump into his deep dive. His positives is he has the high potential. He's got that B potential and already has 70 overall, so he's still only 24 years old, so he's got some time to realize his potential still, and he's still the most quote-unquote MLB-ready pitching prospect. Now, I put MLB-ready quote-unquote in quotations because I don't quite think Caleb Kilian is ready for the major leagues yet. That's not why I say he's MLB ready, but like I just said a minute ago, if a pitcher did get hurt, Caleb Kilian is probably one of the more experience ready pitchers to get to the majors. Now, that doesn't say he would be the first call-up. I think I'd rather him continue to mature in the minors, maybe give a veteran a chance that's been down at AAA before I call up Caleb Kilian. But if desperate times call for desperate measures, Caleb Kilian is ready for, quote-unquote, ready for the major leagues. He's also got pretty good velo. That's his highest trait on his card, as he has good velocity. Unfortunately, gives up a home run here. This is where it kind of went downhill for Caleb Kilian. He had a very good first 4 innings and then gets absolutely blistered here with back-to-back homers. Look at this shot by Chattanooga, a 480-foot blast by a AA player. That's Austin Hendricks, third of the season, but 480 feet. Good Lord, that ball was going a long way. Now on to the negatives of Caleb Kilian. Now you see he's given up a few home runs in this game. That's actually not what I would highlight as a negative. I think this is just another rough start for Caleb Kilian, as here's another long ball. He gave up 3 home runs in this game, as that one, it goes over the fence and right center as well. But I did say he still needs some work. Now, Caleb Kilian is not ready yet. I'd like to see him be at the AAA level soon, but he still needs a lot of work in a lot of areas. And one of those is being his swing and miss pitches. Caleb Kilian is not a pitcher who's going to get a lot of swing strikeouts. A lot of his outs are pop flies like this. They're grounders in the infield, and they just gets more outs by contact than he does swing and misses. And that's a little concerning, especially in today's day and age of baseball, where it's very much a boom or bust kind of at bats. We hopefully like to see Caleb Kilian work on his strikeout game. As also to go along with not many strikeouts, I think that goes along with hits. You know, he does pitch a lot to contact. He's going to get some pop flies. He's going to get some grounders. And I think sometimes when you play that pitch to contact style, you lend yourself to some bad innings like we've seen here in both the 5th and 6th innings here against Chattanooga, where they completely blow a 6-1 lead, now have runners on all bases with one away, and they get the run to score as nobody gets out here, and Chattanooga takes the lead. So I think sometimes Caleb Kilian does give up too many hits, and I think he needs to work on maintaining his composure. When you start to get hit around, especially when you're a pitch to contact pitcher and they start to actually make contact, you can get a little rattled. And I like to see Caleb Kilian compose himself a little better, maybe get through some of those tough innings and get back to work as he did here in the 7th. Caleb Kilian actually did go 7 innings, and he was able to bounce back in the 7th. It's Double-A. I know probably the majors would have taken him out by now, but his pitch count was still underneath 80 or underneath 90 before the start of the inning, so he went and took care of the 7th. But the Smokies did drop this game 7-6 to the Chattanooga Lookouts, as the Smokies start has not been very good. But here's a look at Caleb Kilian. You can see our top prospect down at Double-A. Here's a look at his card. He's slightly gotten better to start the season, but overall his velo's in a good spot. Everything's kind of neutral, but he needs to work on some stuff. I have his ETA at 2023, so expect to see Caleb Kilian in the majors at some point next year. Probably won't be at the beginning, but at some point. Next episode, we're going to rejoin the Major League squad. We have 2 tough road trips to Atlanta to face the defending World Series champion Braves, and as well to Milwaukee, who is definitely on top of the NL Central. But I hope you guys enjoyed this prospect spotlight episode of Caleb Kilian. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content, and comment what do you think of Caleb Kilian? What do you think of the mini-series here within the Cubs franchise? I'd like to see your feedback down below. But this is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.